My name's Shaylin Sampson. I'm Gidimt'en. I come from the Lakibu clan, which is Wolf Clan, in the House of Spok. There's an alliance between the Gidimt'en and Wet'suwet'en that has existed since before colonization. This past year, I was one of the 5 Indigenous youth that was arrested inside the legislature in solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en when the raids were happening here.
They crowded together to block every entrance and staircase to the building. Ministers were turned away or forced to wiggle their way with the help of police.
It's been really important for me to come back to these territories where my ancestors have visited for thousands and thousands of years. And so standing with the Wet'suwet'en is something that I feel is really integral to who I am as a Gidimt'en person.
And this space that we're in right now is actually really important to that alliance as well. This is an ancient village site where the Gidimt'en and Wet'suwet'en would come to harvest lamprey eels. Since then, this creek has suffered irreparable harm to the point where the lamprey eels are almost extinct, and the sockeye spawning run up this creek is extinct. It flows into the Wet'suwet'en, which is our headwaters for all of the Gidimt'en and the Wet'suwet'en people. So this is ancestrally a place where we would gather together, and this is a place where we've now built portable trapping cabins to be able to house our people and guests, and to have a place where our elders can come and be comfortable out on the territory. It's getting harder and harder for us to be here because of Coastal GasLink and the RCMP being on the territory, working really, really hard overtime, 24 hours a day, to prevent us from being here, to prevent us from doing those things like hunting.
All right, I need you to move your truck. So listen, guys, I understand some of you are out hunting today.
There's a hunting blind that was set up. It's in between 2 steep ravines, and so a lot of times the animals will travel through the lower part of the valley in order to travel to the creeks and the rivers to get water. We had planned on being able to hunt there this fall. Unfortunately, Coastal GasLink asked us to remove it. We told them that we were hunting, that they shouldn't be in there because it's an active hunting area. And so what they did was they put a 2-kilometer buffer zone around the hunting blind. And obviously no animals are going to be traveling through an area where there's active tree falling and destruction of the territory and loud machinery working. So needless to say, we weren't successful, and now they're preparing to go in and to remove it altogether.
Legal authorized permanent work here. BC Court of Injunction in place. If you wish to impede the work, we will notify the RCMP.
We are not impeding the work. We were hunting before you came.
I think it speaks to the way that we view things in a holistic worldview, and the way that the Western worldview really compartmentalizes everything. Okay, you can have your hunting blind for a month, but not take into account all of the other impacts surrounding that hunting blind. And then you look at the racism and the ideology that is behind that thinking, that it's okay, you know, it's okay for the state to destroy our hunting blind, you know, where who would stand by and allow the Canadian government to prevent people from going to the grocery store and providing food for their children?
My diet is strictly wild animals, salmon, and if I don't have any of those handy, I'll eat like a vegetarian everywhere I go. My daughter talked me into it before when she was about 11. She said, Dad, what are those ceremonies that you do around animals? And I said, well, I let the animal spirit go, and I thank it for giving its life, and I recognize the fact that it was living a long, free life, and it's going to sustain me, and that's what I'm going to take into my body. And she was 11, and she said, well, why do you eat beef? Why do you eat pork? Why do you eat chicken? And I said, what do you mean? It wasn't free. It was trapped. It lived a miserable life until it died. Its only purpose was to be raised as meat, and that was it. And it's a pretty sad existence. And she said, you're taking that into your body, Dad. At that moment, I made up my mind that I was only going to eat wild meat and salmon. And she was 11 years old, and she did that.
So far this year, because of all the Coastal GasLink impacts and because of all the activity, we haven't been able to harvest a moose. We rely on that to feed ourselves. We rely on that to be close to the territory, to the Yintah, to be close to the animals, for that to feed our spirits.
So we just want you to know, right, we're coming down here to do some archaeological work, okay? It's lawful, authorized, and permitted work, and for the safety of everybody involved.
We're just doing a little hunting here, so...
You're hunting? Yeah. Okay. So just to let you know that we're working in the area,
yeah.
Okay? And for our safety and your safety, we just want to make sure that there's no incident where somebody accidentally gets shot, okay?
Sure. We've never shot anybody before, so I'm sure we won't shoot anybody again.
I just want to make sure that for everybody's safety. So I think we can work together here.
You guys have an eviction order, so you actually should get out of here.
So are you? Would you like this phone number?
No, I've already been in contact with you. You're looking for archaeological artifacts? I'm right here. We've been here for thousands of years and we will be here for thousands of years. You don't need to find a stone tool to confirm that. You need to quit your jobs and quit working for a company that's committing genocide. The UN definition of genocide talks about a variety of different ways that somebody or a state can inflict genocide. And their definition includes bodily or mental harm on a group of people, on a nation.
Take your gun off of me!
It includes the prevention of births. It includes forcibly removing children from one group to another. It includes the destruction of the conditions of life in whole or in part. These are our conditions of life. Being able to be on the territory, to drink the water, to be self-sustaining, to have food sovereignty, to have a sense of identity, to have a spirituality. Destroying those things is genocide. Our Wet'suwet'en law talks about these things as well. That's why we don't trespass on each other's territory. That's why our governance system exists, because we know, and we have always known, that we need these conditions of life to be healthy in order for our people to survive. We don't go onto somebody else's territory and just take whatever we want and destroy it, because that's destroying those people that belong to that territory.